Hello, I'm Eric Eshbach. I'm the Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Principals Association, coming to you from Harrisburg with an informational session on Act 13. One of the things that my predecessor, Paul Healy, started was these conversations that we have to inform principals and to inform our members about something that's going on in and around the state. So today I've invited Judy Baumgardner, and Judy is a contractor that works with the Pennsylvania Department of Education. And I'm just going to let her introduce herself to you. And Judy, it's great to have you here.
It's great to have you here, and congratulations on your new position.
Thank you.
I think the principals are in good hands.
Thanks.
I hear really great things, and also congratulations to Paul in his retirement.
Yeah,
so,
he deserved it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So you want to add a little bit about my role?
What's your background?
Okay.
And what are you doing now at PDE?
Well, I'm really loving it. So I spent 33 years out in the field in public education, 4 different school districts as my career progressed. I began as a math teacher in junior high, and I was a basketball coach and a ticket taker and tutored and all that stuff you do when you're younger and trying to pay the bills, and had a great experience. And I would have been really happy being in the classroom for 33 years. Or 35, but as some opportunities presented themselves, I went to, after I came out of Lower Dauphin, after Central Dauphin, Lower Dauphin, went to Susquehanna Township as an athletic director, and it became an assistant principal, athletic director, principal, and then I went over to Cumberland Valley High School as an assistant principal there for 2 years, and then I finished my career as 7 years as a high school principal at Cumberland Valley High School in Mechanicsburg.
So you were one of us.
I am one of you, yes.
Yeah.
And now I'm in my 4th year of consulting. I can't believe how quickly they have gone by. And consulting for the PDE, for the PIL program, the PA Inspired Leadership Program, and loving every minute of it.
Yeah, Judy was actually a member of the Pennsylvania Principals Association. She and I got to know each other as we were serving in neighboring school districts, and I have great respect for her. So what attracted you? I mean, we always look at PDE as kind of, over there in Harrisburg, a place that we like to throw jabs at every once in a while. But what attracted you, a principal, to PDE?
Well, I do want to comment on that. Yeah. In my 4 years over there, they are some fantastic people. I think they get a bum rap way too often, and they work, have lost numerous staff members over the years, and they work really, really hard. So I want to shout out to the people over there. David Volkman approached me, and having the opportunity to work with him again. He was my boss at Susquehanna Township.
Great guy.
Was just an amazing, he's been a mentor, friend. And also Mike Clemens, who was part of the original PIL program, which I took back in 2006. Okay. And Mike was going to mentor me through this transition. So to work with both of those gentlemen was a great opportunity. Back in 2006, I took the PIL program in its format back then, and I liked it a lot, and it really sold me on professional development and the importance for professional development. And so I spoke before the House Education Committee on the importance of professional development for administrators, and the chance to tap in and work with our new administrators across the state, try to get them to understand the importance of leadership, not just management, but leadership. And I'm a big one for instructional and cultural leadership. And then trying to get them to understand getting theory to practice. So that whole package of working with our newer administrators was really exciting, because I love leadership. I still love learning about it and lifelong learning.
That's great. We always find it very reassuring to know that there are practitioners in the Department of Education helping to serve, people that know what it's like to be there, that weren't just policy wonks or lawyers, but people that know what it's like. And I'm glad that you're a part of that. So you went from PIL to something with Act 13, right?
Yeah. So when you get over there, sometimes you get to dabble in different things and get invited in, and you get to throw your 2 cents in. And then if you do, you might get hooked into a committee. So I have been talking about Act 13, the SLO, and my disgruntledness with the SLO. Act 13 was presented, and it was just really an exciting opportunity to make some changes I felt were necessary.
Yeah, that's great. So at the state level, what prompted that refresh of Act 82 into what we're going to now work under, which is Act 13?
Right. I think it's the validation of the evaluation process. I mean, I've always been, one of my pillars in leadership is I'm one of the most compassionate people you'll meet, but I'm also going to hold you accountable. And there has to be an accountability system in place. So I think it was an opportunity for them, again, to validate the evaluation process, instructional leadership, to lift up the hood of the car, so to say, take a look inside, and what can we do better? And I think there were a lot of positive changes with that. So
that's great. Just so our viewers know, the Pennsylvania Principals Association was very instrumental in the rewrite of the educator effectiveness from Act 82 to Act 13. Thanks to Senator Almond for including us in that. Paul Healy, my predecessor, actually, he and Joe Clapper, the assistant executive director, actually wrote the section in Act 13 related to principals. So if you like it, you can thank Dr. Healy. And if you don't like it, you can thank Dr. Healy, not me. So
that's a good one. Yeah.
Right. So what, Judy, what do you see as some positives and essential changes to this refresh that our members will see as a positive improvement?
Yeah, I think there's many. So let me just hit a few, but I mean, to delve into the whole thing. So from the three legs of the tripod, the non-teaching professionals, there are now 7 rubrics. I think it's 9 positions for 9 positions. And it's, how cool is that to finally be able to validate those people, the educators themselves and the work that they do. And the templates, the rubrics are geared towards what they do rather than trying to fit 9 people into one rubric.
Exactly.
So that's great. And it's also the flexibility for the LEA to define the non-teaching professional. On the classroom teacher side, the pie, so to say, went from 50% to 70%. So now it's, it's observation and practice, which I think is a really great thing. The SLO is out, although districts can still choose to use it.
Oh, okay.
They can.
All right.
Yeah, but not, and the student performance measure, which we call the SPM, is in. And it is an optional rubric. It's not optional to do it, but the districts could create something on their own. But we were really intentional with creating that SPM rubric. It's streamlined. You can now use qualitative, because I said to everybody, everything in the world is not quantitative.
That's right.
So, and now a teacher can design their goals, their student performance measure, I should say, around qualitative or quantitative data. And it also aligns with the principal's goal template.
Yeah.
So there's an alignment across all these things. Now that's just the bare bones of that. And then the principal side is pretty awesome. I got to sit on the principal subcommittee, and it's 10% building data when it's there, but it's 20% goal setting. So if Eric's my boss, you could say, Judy, I want you to have 2 goals, and we can work on those together, but one of them might be 5% and one of them 15%. Or you might say, hey, I want one goal at 20%.
And that's totally
up to
the LEA.
Up to the LEA, which is a great thing. The other thing, and it ties into it, is the template, the pie graph is also flexible. So it's 70%. But I had one of my assistant principals, he did an amazing job with safety and security for Cumberland Valley High School, huge district, right? Huge. And so I might weight that part of the pie a little heavier for him.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of flexibility in there, and the LEA and the employee can sit down, the principal can sit down and decide what those percentages are going to be. And then I think overall, some of the initiatives, the initiatives of the state are weaved in and out: career and college readiness, equity, e-learning, data, social, emotional, mental health. They're all weaved into there. And
you see those in the rubrics and the updates to the rubrics.
And it was very intentional. I'll speak specifically because I worked intensely with the principal subgroup, weaving those in there, streamlining the rubrics. They were really long, and we tried to really make them intentional. And then the last thing, just again, amongst many things, is the building level data has been slimmed down and adjusted. And some things have been taken out. And now there's a challenge multiplier in there for school districts with based on the percentage of your economically disadvantaged students.
Right. Yeah, and I'll speak to the fact that as someone who evaluated principals, that SLO, I joined you as someone who was constantly rattling my saber against the SLO because you had people that were truly trying to engage in a process for learning improvement who just couldn't because it was so quantitative in nature, and then you had people manipulating data or setting up an SLO that made it easy to achieve. And principals have, principals that are in charge of 40, 50, 100 teachers. That's very difficult to create an SLO that is authentic. I like the student performance measures because I think they are much more authentic and can be crafted in an individual way.
And they can be crafted. And, Eric, I'll say one of the things with the SLO, I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt and say their intent was probably good, right? And that's my word of the year, intent. But to your point, the reliability, validity, fidelity of it all, it just, it was, trying to craft something with ninth grade orchestra into an SLO was just really not authentic. And so.
Good. Well, one change that I feel is a very positive aspect of Act 13 is the fact that temporary teachers are evaluated on 100% observation and practice. So I always felt that it was pretty unfair for someone coming into a school district as a new teacher to have building level data assigned to their evaluation when they had nothing to do with it. But I've heard that there's some confusion over who qualifies as a temporary teacher. And I just was hoping you could help us clarify that.
Yeah, so I'm going to do the disclaimer. And, I think it's definitely something you want to consult with your LEA, your solicitor of human resources. So let me just give you what I've been told, and maybe that'll help clarify it without taking it too broad here. So the definition of a temporary professional really hasn't changed. And what Commonwealth case law has held in the distribution is between a professional and a temporary, between the two of them is tenure. Now, I'll leave it at that.
So what the association has been providing as guidance is that your temporary teachers are long-term substitute teachers, as well as anyone that hasn't gained tenure yet. So 100% observation and practice for those people is essential. They shouldn't be bogged down with some of that, the other things, because they are just crafting and honing their craft, and crafting their work as a teacher. We should be focusing 100% on what they're doing in and around the classroom, in the community, in the school, and not a student's test score. So I'm personally very pleased about that. There is another area of confusion. So I have to give the hard questions as well, and it's around the IEP goals. When we were presenting at our summit in August, this question came up over and over again from participants. Some interpreted the information from the training that including IEP goals was optional for the LEA. Can you explain, and I know you got to get in the weeds with this, but can you explain how IEP goal progress should be used for an individual teacher's evaluation?
Without a doubt, the toughest question we're encountering right now. So I'm going to give you my best simple version. Again, I'm going to do the disclaimer, go back to your solicitor, your HR, your LEA. So the good news. So the IEP template aligns with the principal's goal setting template, and it also aligns with the student performance measure template with teachers. They're all based on the strategic thinking model. So that's a good thing. And I really believe once you use it the first year, you're going to go, it's so much better. Again, you have to do it. It's part of the accountability piece. So let's talk about the IEP goals specifically. So all classroom teachers are accountable for student progress. We should be, all students, right? Regular ed and special ed students. So if a teacher contributes data used by the IEP team to monitor progress, then they have to be under consideration for this. So that's, I'd say, the first check. The N count is 11. That's set by the state, and you can go lower, but you can't go higher. You can't set an N count of 15 or whatever. So it's really the total number of students, and I'm going to emphasize the word associated with IEP goals taught by a classroom teacher rather than a single class or course. So if you're contributing data based on an IEP goal and you have 11 students or more that contribute to that IEP goal, then the LEA's got to determine if you're the teacher that fits that. Does that make sense? And
Yeah.
you're out, go ahead and ask a question
Yeah,
if you want to.
it does make sense. That end count. So a school district could say, you know what, we're going to change that and we're going to make it if you have 8 students.
You could.
That have that same goal. Or we could change it, say, well, we're going to make it 10, but by state law, you can't make it more than 11.
Correct.
So if there are, if everybody follows state law and says, okay, we're just going to keep with 11, which is probably a good idea in my
Right.
opinion,
Yes.
then if there are teachers, any teacher that contributes to that IEP goal is evaluated, if they have 11 students on that IEP goal.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of saying it. And it's not just like one single class, like, oh, I don't have
Okay.
11 kids in this class or 11 kids. Well, you're not. It's, you know what I mean? That's the part
Right.
there where it says rather than a single class or a single course
Right.
overall. But now if you're a math teacher and you're not contributing to a reading goal, you're not contributing.
Right.
So you would have to have say 11 students that you're contributing to the same goal.
Right. So I'm not a special educator, but
Me
just
neither.
just for clarification, if the IEP goal is a goal that all the students who have a specific learning disability in math have that goal, maybe it is in their multiplication facts.
Right.
If there are 15 kids that have that goal, and I have those 15 kids in my classes, even though some are in first period, some are in fourth period, some are in seventh period, then I'm contributing to that goal, and that goal is part of my evaluation.
Right, and you have to put that in the template. And I think a lot of times where you might get things across subjects might be like executive functioning skills, things
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
like you, I'm not a special ed
Exactly.
teacher, and
But there are people at
praise to the-
PDE.
yeah.
There are people at PDE that can help
Right.
with that clarification. Correct. Good. All right. So moving on to that mandatory training. So Act 13 requires mandatory training for new evaluators. So that's anybody coming into the profession as a principal, as an assistant principal, anyone that's doing evaluations, right? So can you explain who's required to take the training and how they take this training?
Well, I think the professional development covers the gamut of all educators. It's just what they have to take.
Okay.
Okay, so part of Act 13 now, special ed supervisors sit in the same, I'll use the word clump,
Mhm.
as with principals, assistant vice principals, and career and tech directors,
Right.
right? So anybody as of July 1st this year, 2021, new to a principal position or assistant or one of those positions
Mhm.
must take the Act 13 and beyond course. Okay, let me come back to that. Special ed supervisors have options. They can
Okay.
actually take that course or take something else like on the SAS portal.
Okay.
Okay, so let's stay with the principals, assistant principals, and the
Mhm.
Act 13 and beyond course. So it's called Act 13 and beyond education, educators driving instructional excellence. And you navigate the PDE website just like you would any PIL course.
Okay.
It's Act 45. It's 30 hours, and
There you go.
it is a 3-day virtual course. It's set up that it's 2 days back to back, and then a month later there's a third course, a third day. I'm sorry. And what that allows is this opportunity to really integrate it into your building.
Got it.
So here's the beautiful thing about the course. It not only covers Act 13 for newer administrators, but it also weaves instructional leadership in there,
Mhm.
which we think for a new administrator that is often so caught up in management, bus duty, lunch duty, discipline, this really starts to engage them in that instructional leadership conversation. Right now, we have added 4 more courses. We're running 20 across the state, and they're
Okay.
filling up, and we can add more if we have to.
Yeah.
Right now, it's supposed to be within the first 6 months. I think I can be honest and say, as long as somebody shows good faith in getting enrolled, we'll be
Right.
good to get there. Special ed supervisors, they can either take Act 13 course or the appropriate 5-hour Act 45 course. And then teachers, it's up to the districts to
Right.
to help them.
Let me just clarify and ask a clarifying question on the new administrators. So I understand if someone is just entering the profession of the principalship, just using their certificate, their principal certificate the first time, they have to go through this. What if they are transitioning from being a principal in one school district to being a principal in another school district? Are they required to take this new course?
My understanding is no.
Okay.
So we had a lot of murkiness around that over the last 6 months.
Sure.
And that's where is my understanding it's new in the field. You're getting, you're ready to start and as of July 1st. Now, do we have a lot of veteran administrators and superintendents wanting to take the course? Absolutely,
Yeah,
we do.
I'm
They're
sure.
filling up.
I'm
So
sure. We'll talk about that then. There is a requirement in Act 13 for everyone to have refresher courses, right?
right.
Can you explain that?
Yeah. So right now, the SAS portal has 3 modules. They're really good. They're about an hour each, and they're not for credit. But then on the PDE professional development site, there is a 5-hour Act 48 course. I think there's 4 of them actually.
Okay.
So that's the current stuff. I really deal with the principal side of everything, but there is a requirement then down the road every 7 years to have a refresher course. Right. So the clock started ticking. I don't know how this works, but on March 27th, 21, this past year, when it was effective in legislation, when it officially began, with the 7-year clock started ticking. So we have till 2028.
Okay.
And we'll have to figure that out. Nobody has gotten that point because it has been so intense in the last year trying to get to this point.
Sure. And just for our members, please know that the Principal Association wants to work with PDE to be able to provide that course. We're still working through those intricacies. We don't know if that's going to be possible or not, but we believe that who better to help out with this monumental task, because it really will be a big lift. Than the Principals Association. So,
and it can be a streamlined version. It doesn't have to be 3 days, but we're looking forward to we're all in this for the right reasons, the same reasons, right? To help all of you out.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure there's many other questions that will come from our discussions, and I appreciate, Judy, I appreciate you spending time with me this morning and answering some of these questions. Any final words, any final directives to people that may be watching this? Yeah,
just reach out. And I can't believe Billie Jean King always says, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And I really prepared for this today, really tried to have my ducks in a row. But there is an email, an RA, a resource account, specifically for Act 13 questions. It's a live account and you get answers pretty quickly. So I would encourage you to reach out, as I reach out to principals through my work across the state or with you, Eric. Just ask questions. Don't just assume. And we're here to support you,
Yeah, and the same goes for the Pennsylvania Principals Association. If you have questions, if you would like to be in contact, we can get that RA email for you. Please send questions to me. I can direct them to Judy or someone else at PDE that can help you with that. We are here as a resource for you. We want to help you out through this. It's a big change. I would agree with Judy that for the most part, we see it as a positive change. When we can be focusing less on what a student does on a single day, on a single test, and more on what teachers and principals do in their daily life, in their schools and in their communities, we think it's a very positive thing. So Judy, thank you very much for joining.
And if I could just one more thing, there are, all those extenuating circumstances where a building might not have building data. And it's built in there how to handle that. If a teacher doesn't have teacher data, it goes to the LEA requirement. So there's all those nuances, and that's why if you need help, and I'll get you that RA address. And again, we're here. And thanks for this opportunity. Absolutely. It's really great conversation.
And thanks. Stay well, stay above all the fray that you're going through right now. We know it's tough for you. And it's not too late to sign up for the LEAD 21 conference, which is held at the Penn State and State College from October 10 to October 12. Please go to our website and sign up. We'd love to see you there.